Hello everyone, this is Sonia with Stamping Around the Dining Room Table. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would be happy to be yours. You can see more about me, you can see our products, you could place an order, you can sign up to be part of my team or to have a workshop, and you can do all that by going to my website, stamparoundthetable.stampinup.net. And if there's anything I can help you with, please reach out to me. Okay, around Christmas, shortly before Christmas, I had shown like a, oh here, wait, let me go back out. I go in closer so you can see that. I had made bottle holders like this as like a gift, and somebody asked me, because I'd made some smaller ones for K-cups and stuff, and somebody asked me for the measurements, and I thought, let me just take time to show this, and I'm sorry I just didn't have time to do it sooner. But you can see this has like a little box there, and then it wraps around. So I kind of tried to write things right here. It's not maybe the best or but here, wait, let me make it a little bit bigger for a minute. Is that any better? Let me see so you can see it better. And maybe take, hold down just a smidge, maybe take a screenshot of that, and hopefully that will help. Okay, just give you just enough time to be able to do that. You can even pause your the video so you could do that. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to go back out. All right, so I'm going to, hopefully I can do this correctly for you here. Wait, where's my, oh, here it is. All right, so I started out by measuring, oh, let me see, I had, wait, get this off here, because I had put little glue dots to kind of help hold it in the box. I wanted to pull out some of the paper. Okay, so what I did is I measured across the bottom, and this is just about 2 1/8, maybe a little less, but I measured this just to see, and I did. This is 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, so it's, because it's round, you want the diameter, so it's about 2 1/8 inches round. So the other thing you want to do, because I wanted these little sides on it, so that's an extra inch, and so 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, but I'm going to want it 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Now let me just see here. If I do it this way, I think I can do it 2 1/8. So it'll be 4 1/8 this way. And then you're going to want it 4 1/8 this way. So you got a square. Make sure I got that right. 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Now you're going to want to score it at 1 inch. I'm going to do it on here. You could do it on your scoreboard if you want. There's an inch here, so I'm just going to move it over there. Use my scoreboard blade. And you're going to go around all 4 sides. And I like a good score, so I do it a few times. Not everybody does it as much as I do. But so there's that. Now you're going to get my bone folder here. Okay, bone folder. And you're going to score it, fold and burnish, along all of these lines. Okay, it just makes it a little easier to see where you need to cut. Okay, so you're going to want to cut up along the score lines to the first score. Just do it there. And here's really on 2 of the ends, you're going to do that. All right, so then this is going to come up, just going to make your box. Now, what I decided, most of the time when you do this, you're going to have these on the inside. And if you need to, you can trim them down a little bit. But because I'm going to put that on, and that's going to be, you're going to see that. But I'm going to wrap something around so you're not going to see the outside. So in this case, I put them on the outside. And then later I'll put the piece that goes around like this. We'll go over there and it'll hide that. And then the inside's all nice and clean, you know, to put your bottle in. You don't have to worry about, is it going to stick, catch on there? And then you're going to want something that's, where did they put it? Something that is pretty strong to hold it. So you can do the glue or you can do a tear and tape. And I'm going to use the tear and tape I have here. It's a little bit, this is from another company. Stampin' Up does have it, and theirs is a little thinner. I'm just going to do this because this is what I have. So wait, this goes on the outside. So I'm going to put it, let me think here. I'm going to put it, I'll put it here. One, it's a minute to be. All right, I might want to cut this one because since I got the last one crooked. Okay, so you just put it around there. That's a little better. Not much. All right, and I'm just going to make sure, where's my other one? And of course I don't have it, that's got the thing on it. Okay, I just want to make sure this is down. And I'm going to use the point of this, or if you don't have take your pick or a pokey tool, you can even use the point of your scissors. And like this is over, you just push it back on itself. It'll be all right. Okay, and then here's this. And those are going to go just like this on this side. This one. And this. Come on. It's going under the cardstock instead of under. There we go. Again, it's over a little, so let's push it back. Now, if I wasn't going to be wrapping it around, I would put these on the inside. And I really wanted to, there. Okay, so there's that. Now, so then to get this wrap, you're going to need two pieces unless you've got really big paper. Because I just have the 8.5 by 11. And this was about 7.5 tall. So I'm going to want it an inch. Oh, I said 2 inches taller, but I think I really just want, I did that wrong. Oh, wait, yeah, 2 inches. Wait a minute. I messed this up. I said that wrong because that's 2 1/4 or 2 1/8. And it was, okay, it's about 8.5. So yes, an inch. I said that wrong. 2 inches. I didn't say, I don't have it quite right on here. But you're going to want it, at least, especially if you want to be able to, you know, have a little fancy top, you're going to want it at least an inch longer. So that was 7.5. So I mean 8.5. But then I needed another 2 and an 1/8 on the bottom. So 8.5, 10, and another one of these, 10 and, okay, 8.5. Let me just do this. Write this here so that I'm doing this. All right, so it's 7.5 inches tall. You're going to add an inch, so that plus 1 inch equals 8.5. Then you're going to want plus 2 1/8, because that's what the bottom is. So this is like 4/8, so you're going to end up with 10 5/8 inches. So that's almost a whole sheet. And you're going to do it the 2 1/8 wide, because that's how wide this is. So I'm just going to, so this needs to be 10 5/8. So I can even just, or I may just leave it at the 11 because I'm going to use the thing to cut the top off. All right, so that's 2 1/4, 2 1/8. Make sure I got that right. It was 2 1/8, wasn't it? Yes. Oh, is it 2? Make sure it's 2 1/8. Oh, actually, I said 2 1/8, and I think it's 2 1/4. I can hear 2 1/8 right there. Make sure to do this one more time. Did I measure that correctly? Yeah, 2 1/8. Oh my gosh, I'm just making sure. 2 1/8. Oh, that's a 1/4. I keep wanting to do a 1/4. 2 1/8. And you're going to cut 2 of them. Hopefully this is going to go right. Oh, pretty good. Or you could do it the 2 1/4 if you want. I'm going to do 2 1/8. And then you're going to score this at the bottom, one bottom at 2 1/8. Well, even if it's not exact, it'll be fine. 2 1/8. Okay. So these are going to go like this. And if you want, like I still have some of these tag punches. You may not. This is a little tight in here because it's a little bit bigger. But I did get these in here before. I just have to play around with it a little bit to get it there. And you just want to try and get it centered as best you can. And it's a little tight in here because it's a little wider than what it's really made for. Yeah, it looks pretty close. Like that. And, or if you just have, even if you don't have one of these punches, you could do, if you have a fancy die or, come on, get over there a little bit. Yeah. Or the other, I have another thought now that this is giving me such a hard time here. I don't remember this hard a time before, but oh, it's not perfect, but there we go. All right. The other thing you might be able to do, like, kind of think if you have a punch kind of like this, you put it in like this. Here's another. Here I've got this is a smaller piece in there, but I can just show you. You don't want to go up here because you don't want the bottom, but even if you like the edge of the punch, just put it in from the top, go in like this. And you might even want to mark it so that you know about how far to put it in. See, and then you've got that. And you can put a hole in the center if you want. Okay? So, it doesn't even have to be a tag topper. It can even just be a regular punch that you have that you like how it's going to make the ends look. All right. So these, you're going to, where you scored it, you're going to fold and burnish, and you're going to put one over the other like this so that they, go opposite ways. Okay, so where's the, so I'm just putting it here. I put a cup, 2 or 3, whatever you want, across here. And I might put it, just because it's a little heavy, I think it's a little heavy, I may just do that. Okay. Oh. Come on. I always seems like if anything's going to go wrong, it goes wrong when you're taping. Ah, come on. It started to come up there. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to put here, because you're going to want the little box to fit inside here. Now, if it's a smaller one, you might be able to do it all, you know, maybe the 11-inch would work. This one, even a 12 by 12, it's not going to be long enough because you need it, you know, almost twice that long. There, and again, make sure there's any extra edges. Now, see, remember those are on the outside, so I'm going to want them here along this, so that when you bring that up, it covers it. Yeah, I think I maybe had those. I think I cut those a little. Whoop, wait a minute, Sonia, what are you doing? I think I cut this at 1/4 instead of an 1/8, 2 1/4 instead of 2 1/8. Just like I'm going to have my head in the way here for a second. So because I did that, my scores don't exactly match, but I can make it work. Okay, because I obviously didn't measure something correctly. Oh well. Anyway, so those are going to go like that. And then I added another piece of, because I did mine in cardstock. You could do it if you have your designer series paper is heavy enough, you could do that. In this case, I really wanted this, and then I put a piece of cardstock. I just measured, you know, a quarter, like about an 1/8 of an inch, a 1/4 inch smaller than from here to here, and a 1/4 inch narrower. Okay, and then this, and then I put, because I didn't want it to move, and I put it so you could see what it was in the side. And then this already has a hole in it, but if it didn't, you could put a hole in it, and you could put your ribbon through that, which is what I did over here. So let me just show you. And I would use I just use glue dots, a couple glue dots, just to kind of help hold it in place. So it's hopefully then not going to want to like tip out of there. And you just, okay, so here it is. See, it's not, I didn't put this one in, but there's that. So you can see it. Okay, I'll do it in here. This one, it fits a little better in here, but it's not hooked in the bottom. So see there, here's this, I put Merry Christmas to and from, and that's just, or you could decorate that even more. Okay, so you just hit, it depends on your bottle. So whether it's a bottle like this, somewhere I hit some littler bottles, let's just say you wanted to give something like this, didn't want to just put in a regular box or a little bag, you could do the same for that. You just would measure across the bottom, and this is 1 and, let me just look here, it's there, it's really 1 3/8 because it's not quite 1 1/2. Okay, so you do 1 3/8, you know, and so 1 3/8, so you'd want it to be 3 3/8 square. Okay, you did something this size. And then the other, and it's like 4 1/2 tall. So you would want 4 1/2 plus the 1 3/8 plus 1 3/8. Now remember, this is, a half is the same as 2/4, so it'd be like 4 2/4. Oh, yeah, 8ths. A half is 4/8. So you'd want 1 4/8 plus 4 4/8 plus 1 3/8. So you do the 8ths first. It's 7/8. So it's 5 7/8. Okay. You know, math is not necessarily everybody's. You know, and you could make it a little bigger if it was easier. If you didn't want to use the 8ths, you could make it 1 3 and 1.5. Okay, it'd be a little bit bigger, but especially if you're gonna glue it down, it'd be all right. So 1.5 instead of 1 3/8, because 1.5 is 4/8. Okay, so then that's easier. But basically, and then you're gonna have, so it's 5 7/8, which is a little more than 11. So, you know, you can't do that. So if you did it with, if this is 1.5, 1.5, so that would be 4, 5, say it'd be 6 inches, so it'd be 12 inches that you need altogether to wrap it around like this for a bottle that was about this size. Okay, but I just wanted to show, no matter what size it is, you basically, as long as you have the measurement, you make your square an inch bigger. Now, if it's a real small bottle and you think the inch is too tall, like, let me just see here, like, you know, like those little tiny, which my sister grabbed some for me, and I don't know where they are right now, to just kind of show, and I didn't get a chance to, like the tiny ones, like an inch, those tiny bottles, the tiny bottles of like booze. I can't think of it, but anyway, so you might feel it's a little too tall to have it an inch, so you could make it smaller. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be a whole inch, but whatever you decide, you just have to remember to add twice whatever that is, and to make the square the right size. I hope I'm not making this too confusing. Okay, so you can do it. I just wanted to show you, no matter what the size of the bottle, you can do it. You just have to, you may have to piecemeal some of it, especially for this part, but it's really not, it's not that hard. It's just you got to make sure you get your measurements correct, and you can see I kind of messed that up a little, but it's okay. Okay, so here we go. Let me just put this back together. I have another one across the room there, so maybe I'll grab that. Nope, if I can get this in here. I may grab it if I can get this in here. Okay, do this one more time. Okay. So, as I said, I had that. So there's that. Wait a second, let me grab this other one. If I can without tipping everything over. So you can see, or maybe I'll do this one because then you can see, there's that. And I'll show you, I'll just do this again. Well, maybe I will. I don't know where my, I don't know where my glue dots are, but I just put glue dots on so it could sit like this. Okay, and then there you see, you can have that. This can just be just the DSP. If you want to put a fan, you know, like a snowflake or something on to decorate, you can. And here's, so this is the one side, you know, this is the other. Okay, or do it this way even. All right. Okay. Any comments, questions? It's appreciated. And we just be kind to each other, right? Thanks for watching, my friends, and until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.